What's up, everybody? It's your man's Jam, and welcome back to Level 7, another Agents of Fandom episode. On our podcast, we have some wonderful hosts today that's going to be talking Paradise with me. We're going to do our breakdowns every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so make sure you check us out here. And joining me, I have my wonderful co-host and usual host of the Agents of Fandom podcast here, TJ. How you doing today, bro?
Doing well. Still, thankful that you're in the lead chair, giving me a little break, sit back, relax, stay in my analysis mode. But also, a little sick for it's like the third time in the last month and a half. So starting to get a little bit annoying, but I guess that's just the winter. That's just kind of what happens. And so dealing with that right now. Had a bit of a stressful weekend. I did not get to fly out to New York for my Daredevil Born Again interviews. Thankfully, I'm so thankful to shout out Katya, shout out our Disney rep for being able to schedule me in virtually because my flight got canceled. I was delayed 26 hours and then my flight ultimately got canceled. I am really thankful that it all happened while I was still at home. And so it's not like I was sitting in a random airport or a random city on a layover for a long period of time. I was just chilling at home. But didn't end up getting to make a trip because my flight got canceled. Very, very thankful that I was still able to do the interviews. So in the next week, you'll have my interviews with Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, and then the executive producer and showrunner, Sana Amanat and Dario Scardapan, up on the Agents of Fandom YouTube page and wherever you get your pods as well. So fun stuff coming. But yeah, stressful weekend. Happy to be home. Not happy to be sick, but yes, happy to be here with you guys.
Man, you just had a terrible weekend at this point. That's just insane, dude.
I'm still trying to get my money back. I don't recommend to anyone that you book on Flight Hub. That's where it was the cheapest deal, and it's where I got the best price for a flight. But it has been 3 days since my flight was canceled, and I still haven't been able to get through to a human. I've tried calling them multiple times and 3 hours on hold. Can't get through to anybody. Try going online and through their text message service. All I get is their chat bot. They'll be like, all right, someone is about to come help you. And then it disconnects. Like, I swear they don't actually have any humans.
Is it like it's like an AI chat bot?
Yeah, just an AI chat. I can't get through to a human. And so, yeah, as of right now, the flight got canceled and they're just stealing my money. So hopefully I can figure this out. But it's been 3 days. Have not gotten to speak to a human yet.
That's just actually insane. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm so sorry that happened to you, bro. But
nobody used Flight Hub.
yeah. That just, we are not sponsoring Flight. We tell you that right now. Oh, man, I'm so sorry that happened to you, bro. But again, shout out to Disney for coming through in the clutch in our space. We love to, our sports stuff. Oh man, I appreciate that you are appreciative of having me in the host chair because I was thinking about it last time. I was like, man, I got this host voice. I was like, I think that's like the thing that we all do, right? And I think for me, it just works better to be me. I think that's what you like about me the best. It's just being natural and being Jam. But joining us today is, I think, the spokesperson for the Paradise television series, and that's Ryan Cortero, brother. How you doing today, man?
I am good. Better weekend than TJ's, but I'm so glad for him to have gotten the interviews. So yeah, man, I am so excited to talk about this episode. This is the one that I was very excited to talk about once people got to watch it because what a roller coaster of emotions this episode was so early on into the show's this season's run. Like, goddamn, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do. What is this? Episode 4? Are we halfway technically into the
season? Crazy enough, we are halfway.
And it doesn't feel that way because...
Yeah, from an episode standpoint, we're halfway, not from like a timeline standpoint, because obviously it's just going to be one episode at a time going forward.
Right. So much to talk about, today with this episode. Like Ryan said, there's a lot of emotions that we all went through. I had to pause it a few times. I'm not going to lie to you. some personal things. So, with that being said, before we get into this, I gotta know over the weekend, and I guess I haven't seen neither of you guys since last week. So, Ryan, I throw it right back to you. What you been watching, man? Playing, nerding out to, reading, all the good things.
Ooh, last week I talked about Donkey Kong Bonanza. This week I'm going to be talking about Ghost of Yotei. I have dove back into that game. I only got it over the holiday, so I'm still very fresh. I've only killed the first guy that you're supposed to kill of the Yotei 6, and then the Oni. So I'm on my way to fight the Kitsune right now. Uh, man, I just love this game so much. I love Ghost of Tsushima. I love the way they evolved the game to, instead of just different stances, it's different weapons. I faced off against those enemies that have like that swinging blade thing, and I'm like, I really want that weapon. If that is a weapon, I don't know, but man, I just love the game so much. You are exploring so many different parts of this map that I'm just like, god damn, like I don't know how, like just like the first game, like this map is so huge and it's so fun that literally anything in the distance is like explorable. Like you can actually go to these places, you can climb these mountains and stuff like that. I'm just like, wow, you know what? I'm enjoying my time with this game. I'm not trying to rush through it. Like any encounter I see, I'm like, okay, let's do this, let's do that. Like, so I'm enjoying the ride. It's such a fun game. Can't wait to like complete it when I do.
Yeah, man. Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's one of the best right now. I feel like the Ghost series is honestly one of the best franchises ever. That first one has such a special place in my heart. I really love the second one. So, side question before we get into TJ's what you're watching. What do you like more? Tsushima or Yotei?
Oh man, it's so interesting because I jumped, like I replaced Tsushima before Yotei, so that was very fresh.
Mm.
And like it's so, I think that's how I am with like a lot of sequels to games or like continuation of games in a franchise, where you are super powerful at the end that when you go to the start of a new game, you're like, oh god, I have to like grind my way back up to that kind of level. So it was a bit of a slow start for me, going from Tsushima to Yotei, but I think I just love the way they evolve the combat. Like it's just so fun, it's so fluid. It did take a while for Atsu to become likable for me. Like I mean, again, her backstory is so tragic, but I just wasn't getting that kind of like humor from her from the get go, or like that. You know, she was just a girl on bent on revenge, and you know, I'm all for that. But it was through her different interactions with characters, I'm like, oh, this is okay. Her personality is trying to kind of shining through, and I love it so much. So as of right now, like I want to say Yotei, and like this is like just comparing a very
What
small
you
portion
know.
of Yotei
Yeah.
to Tsushima, like the whole game of Tsushima. So I think like there's some good and bad, but like I think there's so much more room for me to enjoy Yotei more than Tsushima right now.
I was so shocked when I finished it to see that people weren't overly high on Ghost of Yotei, because like I'm with you. I thought it was an improvement on Tsushima. I love Tsushima, and it's not much different, but to me they just like, it didn't need to be. Just give us a new story, shore up all the like small things that weren't great about the first game, and that's to me exactly what Yotei did. It's the same game with a different story but improves. And so I'm like, I loved it so much. And it's kind of interesting with like you said, with it's tough to, you know, like Atsu right off the get-go, and she's kind of the opposite of Jin, where Jin starts off as like nothing is more important than honor, and he becomes the ghost, whereas Atsu kind of starts off as like a little bit of a robot and just becomes human and more human as the story goes. And so I think that's really cool as well. I love that game so much.
Those are like honestly some great, like again, like I said earlier, the franchise is one of the greatest of all time. Honestly, they can make Ghost games forever at this point. Like they can keep going until like they're in modern times or futuristic times or whatever. Like I will play, imagine a Ghost game but in modern Japan.
Oof,
Sign me up. Sign me up. TJ, besides the debacle and dilemma and disarray that you had to that you went through this weekend, what have you been watching, playing, reading, all the good stuff?
Well, I one more thing I just want to tell Ryan, that if you get like I believe it's in like the second last area, the mountainy snow area. I don't remember whose it's called, but when you get there, if somebody's like brings up a myth to you and is like, "Hey, there's a myth about this sword," prioritize that mission above anything else. Make that
Got
your
it.
number one priority, because I'm not going to spoil anything about it, but the mission is so good. The mission
Okay.
is so good and rewarding. I see we had Jam just kind of bounce out there for a second. Not sure if it's internet issues or what, but we'll get him back here shortly. In terms of what I'm watching, I am now officially caught up on everything Thrones related from a TV standpoint. We talked before about how I just cruised through Game of Thrones. I have now cruised my way through House of the Dragon. And so I just finished season 2 today, a few hours before he's back, a few hours before we started the pod. I have finished House of the Dragon season 2. I finally watched the trailer for season 3. So I'm all caught up. I've seen all of Night of the Seven Kingdoms, all of Thrones, all of House of the Dragon.
Wow.
Will I start diving into some of the novels or novellas? Maybe. But as of yet, haven't done any of that. But yeah, I'm all caught up on everything Thrones TV related. House of the Dragon was my least favorite of the 3 properties, but I still enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I actually still was really, really enjoying it. I grew to like it more and more as the series went on. And so kind of surprised me there. I thought that I'd be a little bit lower on House of the Dragon. Still really, really enjoyed it. Haven't been really watching anything else. It's just been continuing my Game of Thrones binge while playing Pokemon Fire Red. I had Leaf Green growing up, so I switched to Fire Red this time. And I think I had both growing up, but I remember getting Leaf Green first. And I am all 8 badges in. I'm walking myself to Victory Road right now. I've just been crushing through it. I decided to mess around, and then I went and got Zapdos and Articuno after my 5th badge. Just stored them in my PC.
Nice.
They've been hanging out. Don't need them. Don't need no legendary birds. I'm a Pokemon master. And so I caught him after my 5th badge, threw him in the PC, and just beat Giovanni for the 8th badge. I'm headed to Victory Road, gonna take down the Elite Four. And then I genuinely don't remember what Johto related stuff comes after that in Fire Red and Leaf Green, but I know there is something, because like I've seen people like catching the legendary dogs in Fire Red and Leaf Green already. And so I know it does
It's the
exist, but I
SSN, yeah.
don't remember what it is. And so I'm very excited to, that's like going to be the part of the story that feels new to me, because I don't think I've played either of these in 10 plus years.
Nice.
Heck yeah, man. I'm gonna start my run Thursday on stream. I can't wait. I cannot wait. But man, yeah, I think the only thing I've seen that I want to highlight since I've seen you guys last, I went to the movies this weekend. I saw Goat. It
Ooh.
was fun. It was a good time. The basketball fan in me absolutely loved it. I honestly think if this movie was in the Zootopia universe, it would be doing way bigger than what it is. On top of, I think it should have been in the Zootopia universe. Like, this is easily a movie that could have been a spin-off, just set off to the side. You can have the bunny and the fox make like a cameo. I forget their names. Nick, I know Nick is the fox. But you can have them make like a quick little cameo. They don't even have to have speaking lines, but this movie itself was so good. That's just me trying to merge IPs at this point. But the movie itself was so good, so funny. Roots run deep. If you know, you know. Highly recommend going to take the fam to see that one. That's what I did. I went with my sister, my mom's, my niece. It was a good family time. But
how's the how's the animation in that? Because I know it's Sony Pictures, obviously the Spider-Verse studio.
I had a lot of Spider-Verse moments. I will say that.
Ooh.
Not anything ground crazy multiversal look at things, but just the animation was really great. The art style is really fun. And I think there's a lot of good like pop moments or wow moments or crazy animation moments that I would say made me feel like, okay, I see the Spider-Verse influence. I see the influence, you know? It was good,
Nice,
man. It was
nice.
good. It was and it got I'm not gonna lie, if you're a basketball fan, I feel like fans that are I know like TJ really loves basketball, like, it's like gonna it plays on the fact of Steph Curry's, like, career, like, him having to try to get past bigs and being too small, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really much that, and it talks and it's really a focus on legacy, good representation for ladies. It just hits all the things. It hits all the it hits all the things. It's a good movie, man.
Do you see it getting a sequel? Like, is there room for that kind of with this, or is this kind of
They
like a one and done?
they made it one and I could say this. They made it to where it's no, like, post-credit thing or you know what I mean, like, or anything like that. So it's a complete movie, but I could see if this got enough traction, I could see this being a sequel. It's good. It's a really good one. Or they could just keep it within the universe and do other
It's just
basketball
Kevin
players.
Durant coming to the team.
something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's good. It is really good. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. It really and then just the whole again basketball fan in me. The whole legacy aspect of the movie, like there's a whole thing like that. It's like a lot of layers, man. It's good. It's fun and it's great.
If the sequel puts Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole in it, I'll be there on day one.
Well, they got no spoilers. When you guys watch the movie, we'll talk. But TJ, let us know over at Agents of Fandom what we have coming because I know we have a lot of stuff coming. You mentioned the Daredevil. We got Janet Varney out right now. What else we got coming?
Yeah, first things first. It is a good time to make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube, but also wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify has a bunch of new features. You can watch a video, you can comment, have conversations over there. So make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Leave us a nice 5-star rating. Help us grow this community. I saw that we creeped back into the top 100 for TV and movie podcasts over on Spotify or Apple. I don't remember which one, but I saw that we creeped back into the US and Canada top 100. So shout out to the people listening, and let's keep it going. Tell a friend, rate 5 stars, do whatever you can, because we got a lot of really great stuff. Like you talked about, Jam, we're gonna be dropping our Daredevil Born Again interviews with the creative team, with the cast. We talked to Daredevil, we talked to Kingpin. That's gonna be dropping shortly. I got some stuff to write up because I believe I still gotta do a little research, but I believe we got a juicy little exclusive from it. So stay tuned for that as well. Check out agentsoffandom.com and make sure you're following us on socials at Agents Fandom on TikTok and Twitter, Agents of Fandom everywhere else. Our Twitter feed, it's the best in the business. Ryan is truly, absolutely incredible. And I've been trying to make it look like I'm doing the same thing where I just copy and paste what he puts over there into some of the other sites. So now we got our threads popping. We got our Facebook back popping. Insta has been doing a little bit more. Same with TikTok. So make sure you follow us on socials. And then here on the pod, we got a lot of fun stuff coming. We will be talking Paradise every Tuesday, but it's March. It's finally March. March is here. And so that means Daredevil Born Again Season 2. That means Invincible Season 4. That means Project Hail Mary. And if you've seen any of the early reactions for Project Hail Mary, I haven't seen a single person who disliked this movie yet. I saw one person, like, they kept popping up on my feed because there was one person who was like, yeah, it was really good, but like nothing groundbreaking. It was just like quite good. And that person just kept popping up on my feed because that's like the closest to a bad review of anything yet. Like people are just saying like it's absolutely groundbreaking. It's not just one of the best movies of the early years so far, but of the 2020s. And so really, really looking forward to covering that one. And yeah, we got a lot of really great stuff coming. We're gonna have reviews for Ready or Not 2 coming up shortly. I'm gonna be doing the one for Daredevil. Like we got a lot of really great stuff coming. So follow us on socials, on YouTube, and wherever you get your pods.
Ooh, what a time to be alive.
And then I forgot to bring it back up because like you mentioned it, but like even if you don't really care about the Avatar: The Last Airbender universe, even if you've never watched Legend of Korra, check out our interview with, or I don't even want to say interview because it's just conversation with Janet Varney. We talked for over an hour, myself and Damon, and she's just so cool. I feel like we're best friends now. She was so kind. We had such a great conversation. We actually talked a little bit of Paradise We talked about which of the 4 elements Xavier would be able to bend if he were a bender. And so check out the conversation. It's one of my favorite podcast episodes that I've ever done in the 5 years of doing this. So make sure you check that one out.
Heck yeah, man. I'm so glad that you got to do that. I know I seen some of it. Damon was also excited for you. We just know how big of a, I mean, you guys know if you're watching here with us now or after the fact, TJ, we have this running joke with he has it with everybody at this point. He makes a Legend of Korra or Avatar: The Last Airbender reference like every episode. So you guys know that was very heartwarming for him, man. But not only do we got a lot of stuff going on coming up soon, we have a lot of stuff going on today, right now, because this episode was insane. So before we get into our recap, I want to go with our spoiler-free reactions. TJ, I'll throw it right back to you. Spoiler-free. What'd you think of this episode?
Man, it was something special. Like this was, we talked a lot before about how I was like so high on episode 1. You guys liked it as well, but just maybe the placement of it you thought could have been a little bit different. Maybe switch some things up in episode 1 and 2. But geez, episode 4. I think of the 7 episodes that I've seen, we obviously didn't get a chance to see the finale. I think episode 4 might be the best one. If not the best, the one that emotionally hit me the hardest, just because there are things that happen that you truly don't see coming. And I'm always a sucker for, I love being surprised. My ADHD brain is going wild every time I'm watching a show like this. I'm theorizing. I'm thinking what's going to happen next. I sometimes struggle to stay in the moment because I'm always thinking about what's going to happen in the next scene in the next few episodes. And so something like this, where it's like, I thought some of the things in this episode, there was no chance in hell that they were ever going to happen. And then they do. And there are so many, not just like sad emotional moments, but truly like heartfelt, purposeful emotional moments in this story as well, that it was just a really, really strong episode of television.
Very, very strong episode of television. But I think I disagree a little bit with you saying, I could be wrong in the way you worded this, but, or maybe this is how my interpretation was. But did you say that you felt like you didn't know where it was going?
I knew where the story of this episode was going.
Okay.
I thought, like, and we'll talk about it more when we get into spoilers, I thought they were going to lead us in a direction, but not pull the trigger on what they actually pulled the trigger on.
Okay. I see. Okay, I got you. I can empathize with that as well. Okay, 100%. Ryan, first reaction, first thoughts, spoiler free. Let me know.
Bro, man, I said it before. Like, this is even as TJ was recounting it, I was feeling those emotions back up. Like, it is truly an emotional episode, and I know, like we said, episode 1 really opened with that, and it like having this outside storyline, and for the most part, that's kind of where the most of this episode takes place, is on the outside with Annie and Xavier, and it's like you know, as we watch these different apocalyptic stuff, you know, you get reminded of like The Last of Us, The Walking Dead. You think about these people who find each other and like are kind of form this bond that like just seems so powerful, and watching that form was so beautiful to see, and like all those emotions and even the flashback, like it doesn't feel like unnecessary. Like, I know some flashbacks can kind of feel like filler, but this one just like really informs it informs the story moving forward. It also teases some stuff, but it also is a great parallel to the present day storyline that I really appreciated a lot of, and getting to see people come back again, it's like always fun to see that. But yeah, no, this one is such a heartfelt episode, and like, again, it being the midway point, it's like, okay, like, you know, these are the stakes, and like they're not afraid to kind of pull the trigger on some things and like make you feel all these emotions, and like it shows you that no one really is safe in this world, and it sucks. Like, around this point last season, we lost Billy this soon, and I was like, damn, like we were just getting to like this guy, we just got to know his backstory, and then boom, like Billy's gone,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, it, it it's a testament to the writing of the show that you get these little moments with these people you never known before in the show, and they can leave such an impact on you. So yeah, no, I love this episode a lot.
Before we get into our spoiler warning, spoiler. I have a question for you guys, a side question, because we mentioned it multiple times. This was a very emotional episode. So I just got Ryan, I'll ask you first, throw it right back to you. What was the main emotion you felt through this episode? One that felt more powerful, stronger than the others? I could tell you mine's. I already know. I want to know you guys.
Yeah. Like I mean, before we really get into it, I think the emotion like of fear and sadness, and like how how that level of fear can drive or can kind of influence you in a certain way, whether good or bad. Like, there's a big emphasis on the fear of trusting others, or the fear of going outside your comfort zone, in this case very literally. And so, I think a lot of people can kind of relate to that feeling of trust, of being afraid to kind of step out of that comfort zone. And you know there's always that kind of like voice in the back of your mind, like, if you step out of this, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, you can fortify yourself as much as possible, but like, when it works out, when you put your trust in the right people, like, that kind of feeling, that kind of, I don't even want to say, like, serenity, or like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, it's just so powerful. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the way, I said it before, like, episode 1 really showed us, like, there's faith in humanity even when the world comes to an end. And I think this episode is a big reminder of that too, that, like, because the world ended, that is when we should feel the most connected to who's left, to who's around us and stuff like that. And again, I'm thinking about it again, I'm just like, wow, like, what a powerful message that the show is trying to tell us, especially in the state of what the world is right now. Like, I think that message really needs to be heard, needs to be felt, because, like, in times of struggle, like, the unit, we have each other, you have the people, like, that's who you should rely on. And so, yeah, it's such a strong emotion for me.
Go ahead, TJ. Sorry.
I was gonna say I agree with the fear standpoint, but for a few different reasons, which we'll get into very, very shortly. It's like the first thing I put on the rundown for once we get into spoiler territory and some of the reasons why. But the other one was also hope of just, I'm kind of going based on what Ryan said. Like, we look out our windows right now and it's shit. You turn on the TV and it's shit. You go on social media and it's shit. And yet we are among the most fortunate people in the entire world. And so, like, there are people undergoing just unspeakably terribly things around the world right now, especially in the Middle East. Is like, US is bombing Iran, Israel is in past the point of invading Pakistan, but just full on in a full on genocide. It's terrible, it's anxiety inducing, it's sadness inducing, and yet we are not even the ones actually going through it. We're just kind of, looking at it. And we are used to, especially in this type of scenario, whether it's The Walking Dead or The Last of Us or Fallout, any of these apocalypse type shows, we are so used to just seeing the worst in humanity. And it does feel like a really great time with how, there's always been terrible things going on in the world. There's always been war, there's always been racism, there's always been sexism, there's always been homophobia. But for the vast majority of our life, it seems like it's been slowly getting better. Each year there's a couple more steps taken to make, to provide equity to the people who need it, to have people not being as bigoted as they have been before. And now it just seems like we're going in the opposite direction. The last few years, it just feels like we're going in the polar opposite direction, and it's weird. It's like it's always been so easy to fall back on, yeah, that sucks, but at least things are getting better. When that's not happening anymore, that's scary and that's terrifying. So it is nice to live in like a TV and movie era that seems to be recognizing a little bit, Paramount buying WB and all the terrible things that's going to mean aside, a movie like Superman or an apocalypse show that shows you there's good in people, or a Game of Thrones show that actually says, hey, look, what if a knight was good? What if a knight actually protected the vulnerable?
And they make you laugh.
And it's nice to be starting to get those shows, because I feel like as the world begins to crumble, it's nice to look to art and media for hope, because that little bit of comfort, that little bit of hope that something made up and fictional can make you feel, that can impact how people are in the real world and how hopeful they feel and how willing they are to affect change. And so it is kind of nice to get a little bit of a turn in some of these types of projects where it's not, there are obviously sad things that happen, but it's not just, the Game of Thrones of it all, where I recognize I'm comparing everything to Game of Thrones in these last 2 episodes. As that show fades from my mind a little bit, because I'm not as deep into it, I'll compare Paradise to other types of media. I'm really giving guy who has only seen Game of Thrones keeps saying, hey, this is like Game of Thrones. But in a show like that, where it's like, it's just bad things happening all of the time, it's nice to get these type of drama-filled shows where it's like, they'll still make you feel hopeful. Even when times are dark, even when things are scary, there is hope for a better day.
Yeah, man. I agree with both what you guys said. I feel like for me, the hope thing was what really stood out because of life being just so life right now. Like you said, TJ, in every aspect. One thing that I thought about when I was watching this show, and actually really just when you were just talking to TJ, is that Stan Lee quote where he talks about, he's like, I used to look at my friends and they're all like, one's a nurse and one's a construction worker, and they're all doing things that is essential and it's like needed. He's like, and I am writing comic books, right? And then he was like, but then I realized that entertainment is really the last thing that a lot of people have before it takes them off the deep end, right? He said, so in a way we're needed. He's like, so now I feel pride in what I'm doing. And I thought about that quote because it really hones down to what you were saying, is like, the world outside is terrible. But if we can get more movies like a Superman, or if we can get an apocalypse show like Paradise, where it's showing us that when times are hard, that's what brings humanity and the human in humanity, you know what I'm saying, out. And I think that message, for me as a kid who grew up loving Batman and loving the Dark Knight and the brooding character, the vigilanteism, the daredevil of it all, it's nice to see your heroes not always brood. It's nice to see that when times are hard, that people can still be good people. And I think that's what my feeling was watching this episode. And so let's get down to it. Spoiler warnings for everybody that is here with us, and spoiler warnings for those if you are tuning in afterwards. Episode 4 for Paradise, A Holy Charge. It starts with a train of like Link's, what is it? His pals, his compatriots, his army, his gang. I don't know. They're late to meet him, and he decides he can no longer wait, and his group heads out to this bunker in Colorado. And they basically hold up the. Is it that part? Is that early in the episode? Right? They hold up the sign.
No,
it comes at
I
the
wrote
end.
a script, man. I wrote
I'm
a
looking at the
well-thought-out
script.
recap.
I'm looking at the script. I'm looking at the
You gotta
script.
just follow it.
I'm looking at the script. I thought that's when. Okay, well, look, they get to the bunker. Look, they get to the bunker in Colorado.
They don't.
And,
that happens at the very end of the episode.
Oh, they're heading towards the bunker. I meant.
Yeah, it like cuts. Yeah.
It like cuts to the bunker, but he has that like train of like it's like a bunch of people with him, right?
Yes, at the beginning.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. My bad. Twisted my scenes together. But yes, they're headed to Colorado, and then it like cuts to Xavier basically waking up in Graceland, and he's like essentially getting nursed back to life from Annie, who has like what was it, like her med school degree, like her little bit of med school knowledge, right? And they have like this clashing of opinions as I'll read TJ's script here. He's like, hey, I read a script, just read it, right?
I mean, if I spend 20 minutes writing something out, it would be nice if you could read it.
All right, look. I'm gonna read it bare bone. Look, all right, so he meanwhile, Xavier wakes up in Graceland as Annie with her med school training nurses him back to health. Annie and Xavier become acquainted and agree to team up, but have clashing opinions on how they want to spend their time. That's basically what it is. That's just the.
And now Ryan goes.
And now Ryan
we never heard this. Yeah, so pretty much like where they differ is like Annie is like, okay, like you can help me get to Colorado because that's where you are, or that's where you're from. You can help me meet Link because like he doesn't know that I'm pregnant with his child, so this would be a great opportunity to go meet him there.
I'm never writing a fucking script again in my life. Both of you.
Okay, here we go. Meanwhile, Xavier, he's focused on going to Atlanta for his wife. Eventually, Annie and Xavier, they open up to each other and they agree that it's best to go to Atlanta first to get Terry, then travel to the bunker in Colorado. And then while that's going on back in the past, we see President Bradford 3 years ago. He's celebrating the birth of the first baby in the bunker.
The duo comes across a group of survivors as Annie is entering labor, and they risk their safety to ask for help. While the new group turns out to be friendly, Annie loses her life while giving birth to the baby. She makes Xavier promise to keep the baby safe and deliver her to Link, his new holy charge. And that's what happened in the episode. Now we can do our thoughts. It's supposed to be like a plot synopsis, guys. There's a reason it was laid out the way it was. It was supposed to be a happen by happen of exactly what went on in the episode so we could get to the analysis after.
I got it.
And you know what's crazy? He literally told me this, everyone. He literally
texted you guys in advance, sent the doc hours before.
He definitely said this. To be fair, I can't speak for Ryan, but I can get. You know what? I can defend me and Ryan here. To be fair, we were just trying to give our spin on it, just trying to have it go and we were really trying to go natural with it, right? Like just like let it flow. And then
the only part of the podcast that doesn't get a spin.
Got it. Next week we got it.
We'll figure it out, guys. It's okay. It's only episode 2. I was gonna say episode 2, Lord. It's only week 2, episode 4.
It's way more fun when something like this happens anyway.
Yeah, it's okay. We got 4 more episodes. We're good.
We're gonna figure it out. It's okay. Look, but yes, TJ did write a script for us. That was the script. That was the what happens in the episode, the synopsis. Let's talk about it. Annie's shocking death. That's like the biggest thing throughout this whole episode. As soon as we got to the flashbacks, I'll be honest with you guys. As soon as we got to the flashback of President Bradford in the bunker, and like it's all through the lens. One thing real quick I love about this season is that it's all mirroring moments in Xavier's past. Love that so much. It's genius. But it's basically Xavier with President Bradford, and they're welcoming the first birth of the baby in the bunker. The first birth of a baby in a bunker. And I knew that moment. I knew there she was gone. I knew it. I was like, oh, she's gonna die this episode. She's gonna die. It emotionally prepared me because I don't think I would have with the way they did it. TJ, I'll throw it right back to you. What did you think about how they got Annie up out of there?
Like that was like, so like you said, like everything in the episode was foreshadowing this to happen. You know, she has preeclampsia. The small things are what kill you out here. That has been said multiple times. And so it makes sense that it was going to happen based on the story that they were telling. But I couldn't get the idea out of my mind of like, you don't book Shailene Woodley to be in 2.5 episodes. Like, she was marketed as a new series regular. She kind of seemed like she was going to be a secondary main character, and she was through this early portion of the story. But I kind of thought there's just no way that Shailene Woodley gets killed off in the 4th episode. And so that's what, to me, what was so shocking was like, I thought there was no way that they actually wouldn't chicken out from doing that. And man, it was devastating. It was so devastating. Like, that's why it was the end of the episode, but I had to put it at the top of the rundown because we can't really talk about this episode without it, because it was so sad and powerful at the same time, the way that she, hey, I've seen something other than Game of Thrones. K-pop Demon Hunters. It reminds me a lot of the end of it where Genju, not Genju, that's a guy from the Avatar novels. Ha! One time about Avatar. What's the Genu? Genu, right at the end of he sacrifices himself for Rumi, and she's like no, like you could have lived. And she was, I wanted to save you, and she's like, you did. He's like, you did. Mm-hmm. I have a soul now. I believe in the goodness because of what you have done for me. And that's a little bit what this was for Annie, of her attitude was, for the first time in her whole life before the apocalypse, she did not like people. She did not know how to deal with people. She liked to be alone outside of her, set scripted tour. And she said to him, like, I'm not afraid anymore. Don't let her be afraid either. And it was such a powerful moment that made you feel like, as sad as we are to lose Annie felt like she did what she was supposed to do. And there's something really powerful in that. But it still didn't make it any less sad. And like, that's kind of what the fear I was talking about in the episode, because just like, it was such strong storytelling that it's so hard to not put yourself in those shoes. And like 2 years ago, I had my first baby girl, and I'm sitting there being like, I can't imagine. That was one of the cool, back and forth pieces of storytelling they did too, is like, it kind of shows you back in the day, pre-doctors knowing what they were doing, pre-hospitals, women would die in childbirth all the time. That was very common. The baby wouldn't make it, or the mom wouldn't make it. Mm-hmm. And we see how easily that can happen with Annie's story. We also see within the bunker why that happens so much less now, because of how good medicine is and how strong the doctors are at their craft, that even when a bunch of things go terribly wrong in the bunker pregnancy, we see them just handle it, and it's no problem for them. And so, having been in that moment before of like, you spend 9 months of a pregnancy, basically everybody congratulating you, everybody being like, oh, this is going to be so exciting, especially as a man, when you don't have to go through the pain. You don't really spend any time thinking about the birth. You think about after. You think about the parenting aspect of it. And then when you're in the hospital, it's fucking terrifying. No matter how much everybody reassures you that everything is going to go okay, no matter how much everybody reassures you that like, hey, everyone's scared, this is a normal process, it's impossible not to be. And so it's when strong storytelling like this, it's really hard not to put yourself in those shoes, and then immediately get scared and being like, I couldn't go through that. I'm not ready to lose the baby, lose the mom. I wouldn't be able to, like, I don't know how I would continue, how I would go on. It is scary. And those moments when President Bradford, shout out James Marsden, our guy, Cyclops, he's back. But when he says like, hey, babies are built to survive. That is what they do. They're spongy. So if you drop them, they're probably not going to break a hole much. They break a hole, all their bones. They're just going to be like, ping, and everything's going to go back into place because they're malleable. They're built to adapt and survive. That's kind of, to me, the hopeful part of it. They talked about the apocalypse at the end of the episode as well, like various world-ending events, and how one of them left 1,000 people on Earth, and they said in this book that we're all descendants of these 1,000 people. The Earth is like a baby too. As much as we terrorize it right now with the things our governments are doing and the way we are polluting the world with all the terrible ways we were before, and now we're throwing AI data centers on top of it, where all of a sudden in 1 year, where this thing is basically brand new, they're using just as much water as the entire water bottle industry, just speeding up the pace in which the Earth will not be habitable for humans. The Earth will live on. Humanity as we know it, society as we know it, may not when all the shit starts hitting the fan, but the world will live on. The world will renew. Nature will come back together. And that, to me, is kind of where the hopeful aspect of this came in, where even the birth of Annie's child, it was this terrible, terrifying event, much like an apocalypse would be when your own world is ending. And yet it was still hopeful. She had hope for the future because of that relationship her and Xavier cultivated together.
Yeah, man. It was such a powerful, powerful episode. But that moment specifically was just, I mean, like you said, it was scary, but it was not only scary, it was still hopeful too. Like the writing that she put in the letter, right? I think all of that was just executed so, so well. Ryan, what did you think about this shocking death scene?
Give Shailene Woodley award nominations, because goddamn that scene with her like giving birth and like telling the midwife to stop, like, and her guttural scream when she like realized what was going on and just telling her to stop and like try to get the words out to Xavier. That was so powerful. And like I did not see that coming at all either. Like I really thought like, yeah, Shailene Woodley's such a big draw, I feel like, for this season, that I was like, okay, they're gonna keep her around for a little bit. Guess not. We barely got an adventure out of her. But it was super powerful to see, like, to see her go through this and kind of accept it, like that she knows that she knew it from the get-go, like this was going to be her fate. And the moment she stepped out, she knew that this was going to happen one way or another. And she pushed through that, and it shows her resilience, her drive to, like, whether it's to reunite with Link or to get the baby out there into the world so that there's a chance for the baby to meet her father. It's like, she did all that just to recreate that moment. And it's like, damn, like, and yeah, speaking about her last letter, it's interesting because she talks about these, you go these, it's so interesting because she talks about, like, this baby, you will have the opportunity to go these impossible distances and see the connections between people that you would never think before. And like, it just makes me think of, like, this is exactly what Annie couldn't do. She all the relationships came to her. She never went out there to form those relationships, whether it was Gail in the first episode. Gail was the one to approach Annie. Link and his crew were the ones to approach her. Xavier landed in her lap. Like, it's like she never goes out of her way to kind of like form these relationships. It kind of comes natural, or they come through external forces. So it's like, now this baby has the opportunity to bridge these connections. And I think that's what's so interesting with the flashback, is that Louisa's child is a boy, Annie's child is a girl. And it's like, are we trying to, like, in there, I know it's 3 years apart, but like there's this generation thing, and it goes into that story that the grandma was talking about, of like your descendants of these 1,000 people who survived. And it's like, is this kind of leading to something like that, of like, we're restarting this new generation with Annie and Louisa's child? Like, is that kind of what we're leading towards with that? So that's where I'm saying, where the flashback in different ways teases something that could be coming. And so, that's why I really appreciate it. And I love the juxtaposition, how they cut between Annie's delivery and Louisa's delivery, with the shot of the medical equipment, with the shot of the doctors, with the shot of the midwives, like
Mm-hmm.
doing what they can and everything. It's like, and with Louisa's, it's like you see the doctors walking out because there's nothing left to do. It's all good, but like for Annie's, everyone is still there in that moment because like all they can do is just support her through her final moments. And like it was sad even for Xavier. He's like, is someone gonna help? And like they're, like he had to accept the fact that like there was nothing anyone could do at that moment. Like it sucks. Like, I mean, it shows, like what TJ was saying, like they're without the proper medication or proper stuff like that. It's like this is how life was before. Like you would either lose the child or the mother. And I really thought like it was gonna be the child at that point, just because like again, I just thought Shailene Woodley, you're gonna keep her around and stuff like that, and that would be her trauma moving forward. But like this is that hope bit of like this child now has the weight of her shoulders in front of her. And it's going to be interesting to see Xavier travel around with this baby now. And I know TJ brought up a very good comparison with another show that is not Game of Thrones or Avatar. So yeah, TJ, I'll let you take it from there. What show you want to compare it to?
Yeah, it's very The Last of Us Mandalorian feeling. Like they just like that's a little Grogu and that's Din Djarin carrying him around, right? Like we love a father and child on an adventure type story. And so yeah, I felt very Mandalorian-esque with him just sitting in the baby jumper and him just being on his way. But I think it's kind of funny how just like thinking back on it, that obviously we were thinking, like Ryan and I were thinking, she's not going to die because it is Shailene Woodley, a very recognizable name, a very recognizable face. Does it ever kind of bug you how much? I mean, maybe this is just a me thing. I don't know why what was it, like Divergent? That's what it was, Divergent series. I feel like that occupies too much space in my brain for how little it actually existed in pop culture. Like it kind of was a marketed and expected to almost be like, there was Harry Potter and then there was Twilight and then there was Hunger Games. Now the next one that all teens are going to love, the Divergent series.
Because it was that book
series
that they
reached
kinda,
those heights.
yeah. It was that book series that everybody had read or didn't, or but it felt like it was gonna be the next big thing, and it didn't. It never really. I will say though, I did see all 3 of those movies. Was it 3? It was 3, right? It was 3 movies.
I remember seeing the second one. I feel like I don't even know if a third one got made. Did they end up finishing the trilogy?
I know they canceled whatever the last movie was supposed to be.
Yeah,
because it just didn't have the.
Was it? It was. What was the first? It was Divergent,
and then Insurgent, and then Allegiant.
Then Allegiant.
So there is 3, but there was supposed to be a 4th one.
Oh gosh. Oh.
I mean, to be fair, Hunger Games aggressively lost its juice for the last 2 movies too. Like the first one is really good, the second one is incredible, and then the third and fourth get pretty damn boring, in my opinion. That did not need to be split into 2 different movies, and so they just, I think, wanted to do the Harry Potter thing. But yeah, I don't know. And I guess there were. It's not like that wasn't common. It was like Maze Runner was the biggest thing, and then its sequels just kind of fizzled out down the line as well.
Everybody's trying to make franchises. They all can't be the MCU, man. It's okay. Relax. We get into Xavier and his visions that he's having of Link. I was like, is he like getting energy from her that? Like, is he like you touch her, you get a vision like Mystique or like Rogue or so, like you get the powers. I was like, or is this him having flashbacks of knowing like what was all of this? And then I'm like, oh no, he's like seeing, and then he mentions it. He's seeing things that they happen, but they haven't really happened. And I'm like, where we go with this? I wasn't expecting, like, this was what, to your point last week, TJ, about the supernatural side of things. I wasn't expecting like no Hakuna Matata Nana stuff. Like, what you got going on over there?
This is where I genuinely want to know what you think, because obviously, like, Ryan and I can't speculate much because we've seen more in the later episodes, but I don't think it's spoiling too much to say, look, I've seen 7 episodes and I still genuinely don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, I still don't know. And maybe there have been some pieces of it resolved and I'm just an idiot. I don't know. I'm not saying it exists or it doesn't exist, but I'm just saying, like, I still don't really know what's going on. But, like, I don't think any of us saw this side of the show coming. With, like, last week we had the nosebleeds. This week it's Xavier's visions. Why do you think he's seeing them? Like, what do you think is going on?
I truly have no clue, man. I'm like lost in the sauce. I feel like this is like one of those situations where it's like this felt more sci-fi, post-apocalyptic coded, like, and now I'm like, brother just got superpowers out of nowhere. Like, where did that, like, bro literally is Jean Grey? Like, what? I don't. How was it? Is it like the plane crash? Is it some chemicals that he went too high up on a plane? Like, I'm just trying to, like, on some Fantastic Four nonsense. Like, what is the, I really don't know. And also now it kind of makes me think, like, it could be still sci-fi coded. Like, is it aliens messing with him? Because he was one of the few that came out of the bunker. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Ryan, I know you said same, like, you've seen 7 episodes as well. What do you got thoughts on?
Bro, I was as confused as you are at this point. Like, I just was like, so, like, what is happening? Because I can excuse it if Link didn't have the beard and be like, okay, this is a past thing that like he forgot about and he's only remembering now. But Link fully has his beard, and I'm just like the beard that we saw him we see him currently with. So I'm just like, okay, is this future thing? Like, what and how does that work in this show where they've never established that kind of thing? And I know last week we got into it about like future stuff with like I was so cheesy. It's like clairvoyance, where it's like Agents of Shield, where this person knows like what's about to come, and I'm like, is Xavier having that? And then we also see Link have that at the beginning of this episode, where he's seeing vision. So it's like, what is connecting them? And then you think, at the end of the episode, you talk about Annie's letter about this bridge and crossing possible distances between two people who never would know each other. And I'm just like, okay, like, what is that? I know Annie is this glue between them, but like, how does that work? I don't know. And it's interesting because like, he has the card and we still don't know Link's real name. It's fully blank. It's just a student on it. So it's like, and then from there, like, I don't know. I'm very interested to hear what you think, Jam, with like that, like the decision to not include Link's real name on that card. Like, what does that mean for you?
I mean, he's not that Link is not his real name at that point. That was like the only thing I could think of. Like, he just gave, because they all weren't using their real names, right? He was Link, Urkel over there, and I forgot the other guy's name. Was that a Game of Thrones reference? I think.
No? Well, speaking of Game of Thrones, you know what it reminded me of? Maybe Xavier's a warg. Maybe he had seen things out of time like Bran and he doesn't know what it is yet. Maybe Xavier is going to be the three-eyed raven.
Yeah, I don't think that's what's happening.
No,
I don't think that's what's happening. I don't think that's what's happening. I truly don't know, but that's something that really interests me. It's like, it's fascinating because, again, as we all mentioned a few times here, like, I just didn't really see that coming from this show. And it could still be, I mean, you guys know more than I do, can't speak much, but it could still be a sci-fi thing, but it just doesn't feel that way for me. It feels more supernatural-esque. But as this episode, oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to say my best read on the situation is a Poseidon line from the Percy Jackson season 2 finale, where he says, there are things more powerful in this world than the gods. One of them is destiny or fate. The other is love. It feels like some love combined with fate stuff going on.
Yeah, it really feels supernatural. Like, my first thought was like, okay, this is still like sci-fi aliens type esque, but it feels way more supernatural that the way as the episode goes on. And then, like Ryan said, you get Link's flashback too, and I'm just like, okay, hold on now, what's going on here? But as the episode continues, we get, we mentioned, but Xavier and Annie go out into the real world. They leave Graceland. That's what it is. You go to Graceland, you get powers.
Oh.
Maybe.
Power of Elvis. Damn.
I also thought it was so funny how the entirety of this episode was Elvis songs, but none of them were actually Elvis singing. So to me, that begs such an interesting question. Like, what were the rights battles like in the creation of this season? Was it just really easy to get clearance to do an Elvis song as long as it's not Elvis singing it?
Yo, the power of Elvis, Ryan, that is so good. That's going in the vault. I'm putting that in like my notes app. I have a notes app thing that says things that people say. That's going in there. The power of Elvis.
Wait. I just realized something. His daughter is Presley, right?
Yeah.
Elvis Presley. What is going? Is Elvis the connection here?
He had half of his power with his daughter already, and entering Graceland fully made him a child of prophecy. And he's gonna
this for the finale.
He's
like if this is like actually
on the Iron Throne.
We get an Elvis cameo, like, and it's a pause on screen.
Austin Butler. Butler returns.
Austin Butler wakes off the toilet in Graceland and is just like ready to continue his story with them. I took some stuff out of the rundown because we basically already covered all of it with like the flashback birth stuff. But the one part I wanted to still bring up that I forgot about was I thought the contrast was super interesting. How, we do kind of get a major plot reveal of some of the stuff going on with Samantha, aka Sinatra, with her saying to this baby, "You're gonna see the stars. You're gonna see the sun. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make that happen." And that comes back to last episode in her lie detector test, where she was asked, like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" She would not say anything. Are you diverting this energy for your own personal gain? Easy no. And so it's like clear, it's for whatever this is. It's for whatever she is creating to make sure that people aren't going to live their whole life in the bunker, like President Bradford was saying at the beginning. And I think that's also such an interesting contrast to what is happening with Annie's baby, because Annie was so worried that all this baby is going to experience is the storm. All they're going to experience is this new terrible world. And she wants to get to the bunker because she's afraid of raising her child in this outside world. And then there's Sinatra with the other baby going, one day you're going to see the outside world. You're not going to have to live your whole life here. You will see the outside. And so I thought that was a really interesting contrast as well. And then on the far less serious front, I wanted to ask you guys, after Annie was like, I rewatched the episode right before we went live, and Annie's sitting there being like, "Ooh, waffles." What do you think that thing would be for you guys? Like, if you are sitting in the apocalypse and you are eating whatever leftover rations you can find, you got some Twinkies, you got some baked beans. Ryan, what do you think?
Eating rat.
What do you think is the thing that like you're gonna be like, that is the one thing I wish I could eat?
Burgers. A good burger would be so good during this time. I'm like, I just love a good burger, and just seeing them in that kind of diner, I'm just like, man, a burger would, like, even just watching the episode, I'm like, a burger would be so good right now. And I can't imagine like 3 years in not having a burger. I'm like, because like probably
that horse
and like and I'm thinking about like the bunker, how they had like the nut cheese for their cheese fry stuff. I'm like, I would not want like a Beyond Burger. Like, I mean, kudos for people who can eat that and like enjoy it. But for me personally, like, if you feed me a Beyond Burger, trying to pass it off as like a real burger, like, there's a clear difference there, and it's just never going to be the same. So if I get the chance to have a real burger in 3 years after not having that, I can die happy right there.
Are you like me, where it's like people talk about a fancy steak dinner as like the be all end all? Would you rather a nice burger than a nice steak?
Oh yeah, 100%. Steak, too. Like, it's like, again, a good steak is nice, but
it's great
as a last meal. But no, like, I've had good steaks, but a burger hits different every time.
You're like Anya Taylor-Joy in the menu.
Yes, I'm just like, I just want to, or you know what? Let's Morgan Stark at the end of it. I just want a burger. Give me a burger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Your dad liked cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Jam, how about you?
Mine's got to be pizza, man. I would.
It's funny. These are the two things I am between, but I think I would lean the pizza too.
Yeah, man. Because that's what like. I was joking with Ryan. I would. That horse would have got cooked. See, I can make a burger. There's in some way or some fashion. I'm hunting deer. I'm hunting a horse. I'm hunting dogs. So I'm getting a burger. I don't care. I'm gonna get. But a pizza? Do you know how much extra work I have to do for that?
Jam sitting in the apocalypse, like throwing it up in the air, trying to get it flat.
But a burger, easy. Hunt, chop meat up, cook on. Well, the grill aspect is a little bit of probably the hard part. We could figure something out. We could figure a nice little fire iron cooking pan. Like it's doable. The pizza. That's the thing. It's like that's like my cuisine where it's like I don't gotta do much. I go get the pizza. I don't want to have to make the pizza.
Good point. Like the we kind of have covered. I'm just kind of looking at our rundown and like taking like hit that, we hit that. The one part of we've talked a lot about what Xavier and Annie meant to each other and how they like improved each other's lives literally from a day-to-day with their skills that they provide to each other, but also the impact they had on each other in terms of their philosophies and the life lessons they were able to instill in the other one. But I did find it really funny how I agree with like Xavier's thought process on people and things in general is just like very much the way that I like to live my life. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, be ready if things go terribly. Like I'm quite good in a crisis. My brain is always thinking of things that'll go wrong. When things are perfect, that's when my anxiety is at its worst. When things go wrong, that's when my brain slows down and I go, how can I problem solve? How can I help? How can I fix? And so that makes a lot of sense to me of like, look, people inherently are not scary. You can be hopeful that the world is going to get better. You can be hopeful that this person that you meet will be a good person who will help you. And it's also important to be prepared just in case things don't go that way. I love the philosophy, but I will say so much easier said than done, Xavier. Not everybody is you. You are probably the most capably dangerous human left on planet Earth. We see what happens when somebody points a gun at you. You go, pop, 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 and it's out of the way. Not everyone can be as not scared as you are, Xavier, because not everybody is as capable as you are at disarming somebody if they put a gun to your face.
Yeah, no, when they were walking down and they're like having that face off, she's like, don't give eye contact. He's like dead staring. She's like, don't talk to them. Hey, howdy. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what the hell, Xavier? Like, what do you think's going to happen in this moment? You have a pregnant woman on a horse. There's these two scary looking guys with horses. I'm just like, God.
The lady on the front with the gun, like,
yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? Like, how you doing? Like, get Superman happy go lucky ass out of here, man. Like,
exactly.
So as TJ just brought up, the relationship between Xavier and Annie and how they've kind of like fed off of each other, and then she, as you guys mentioned earlier, she kind of dies without that fear. She dies kind of being influenced almost. I wouldn't say almost, but actually a lot. She basically gets influenced by Xavier and the world that kind of helped her deliver her baby, and we get to this final moment where it's basically Annie's letter, him reading the letter over the fire, which you guys have brought up multiple times. We get Link's Love Actually, which is kind of wild. I thought that was that's what I was talking about. But I thought that was insane. And then it kind of goes towards the end where we get Xavier meeting Terry's best friend, brother, all of the things that he claims to be. And immediately I was like, who is this Ron Stoppable looking guy, man? Like, I just don't like. I immediately did not like him. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just didn't like him. That's basically like the ending there. What do you guys think? I mean, you guys have seen this though, like, so it's hard for me to ask. But
yeah, let me turn it around on you. Okay, you're hearing him slowly say these things, which is crazy. He's like, "Where's my wife?" Or "How do you know my wife?" And he's like, "She has been my best friend, my partner." Pauses, and you're like, "Where's this going? Did y'all fuck? Did y'all do the
yeah,
nasty?"
yeah.
And he's like, "She's like a sister to me." And I mean, again, we could go to Game of Thrones and be like, "Is this that kind of relationship?" I don't know, but he says it so reassuring, like she was like a sister. It's like, okay. And then he says she was taken. For you, Jam, when you hear that, you're like, what do you assume he means by that? Taken from me.
My first thought was like, did she die, bro? Like, is like taken, like somebody took her, killed her. Then my second thought was like she was kidnapped. Like, what does that mean? Like, because that could be, those are really the only two things I was like, that's the only valuable things that it could be, right? I just don't like the way he, like, to your point, the way he said it. Like, he came out like he was like, yeah, she was my partner, my best friend, my bro. What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, and like, it would be so much different in tone too if this was another Sterling K. Brown-esque man.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, even if that was just like James Marsden, like somebody that is
Morris Chestnut.
handsome,
Morris Chestnut said that, I was
not
like,
scary. Like, this guy just got like the inherently like creepy guy look about him. And but there's so much of that with this show where it's so hard to know who's the hero, who's the villain, who's the protagonist, who's the antagonist. At the end of the day, these are all just people trying to figure out what to do, right? There's Happy-Go-Lucky, just wants to play the wee Jane, who is the most dangerous psycho killer around. There is Sinatra, who was the villain all of season 1, now kind of seems like she's actually trying to help people a little bit in season 2. There's Link looking kind of scary of like, we're asking nicely for now, then we're gonna blow the shit out of this place. Makes you think like, damn, is Link a bad guy? Is Link actually a villain? But then you realize, well, Sinatra was the villain. He's doing this to Sinatra. Is he fighting our villain, or is he the villain? It's so much of this. Same thing with Annie. When do we first meet Annie? If those episodes were reversed, because whoever you meet first, that's who you think is going to be the protagonist, right? Like, that's kind of how storytelling goes. So when we meet Annie first, we are believing in her story. She has a little space in our heart after episode 1. Right. Episode 2 ends with her putting a gun to Xavier's face and being like, "You're taking me to Colorado." Had we not already met her, we would have thought she was a villain for sure. We would have thought like, this is not a person we could trust. But we did, because we already saw her in episode 1. That makes this so tough to know, because it's like, even the people we thought we could trust in this show, we haven't been able to trust. A lot of the ones we didn't think we could trust, we ended up being able to trust. So when we get one of these, like, he's nice, his hands are up, he is unarmed, he says Terry's like his sister, this is a nice, kind guy that we can get on board with. But he also looks creepy as shit. Like, if you were to picture in your head what like the incel guy hiding behind a keyboard making hate messages to people on Twitter looks like, it kind of looks like that guy. Apologies if you look like that guy. If you're listening to this and you look like that guy, I'm sure you are a really great person. Maybe just adjust some things on your style a little bit.
No, I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that.
He said, if you look like that guy, I'm sorry.
Sorry to this man.
Sorry to this man.
Yo, TJ is on one, man. He's on one. No, this guy was weird looking, man. He was definitely the incel looking type. But again, if you look like that guy, hey. If the shoe fits, wear it, Cinderella. I'm so, I'm sorry. Look, it was a great overall episode. You guys got final conclusion thoughts? TJ, throw it right back to you. I
Honestly,
look at our
nothing other
rundown. I think we
than,
got it.
you know, like we talked about, the supernatural sci-fi elements of this keep taking me off guard every time I see them. This was such a emotionally powerful episode. I think it was my favorite of the 7 that I've seen so far. This show is just really special. This show is really, really special.
Ryan's not wrong when he says it's some of the best television out there, man. I'm with him on that. It was one of my favorites of last year. I actually think this episode might be my favorite of the series. It's up there. It might be like 1 or 2, maybe 3, because there was some strong episodes last season, of course, as well. But that's because we got the whole season. I have still a whole season left to go, so I don't really know where this will place because of how everything turns out. Ryan, any final thoughts on this episode?
Yeah, no, I mean, we kind of covered most of it, but yeah, like again, strong episode. For now, it emotionally, it is my favorite of the season. I think as a whole, that might be like the series premiere for me. Oh, sorry,
Okay.
the season 2 premiere for me, where like how they just told the story with people we don't know, and you got super invested right from the get go. That's why that one works. I think as much as I enjoyed the flashback, it did detract from like the Xavier and Annie story. That's why like if I could just have the Annie Xavier moments of this episode, like that would make it so much stronger for me. But because of like that flashback, it kind of took away
I
that
see what you mean.
momentum.
Yeah.
Like because the season 2 premiere, like you're fully following Annie like from beginning to end, and like there's no cutaways to anything else. To you're just fully invested in your story. So that's why like it is a top episode for sure of the series so far. And like rest in peace to Annie. Like unlike like how they bring back Billy or bring back President Bradford, I don't know how you bring back Annie in any kind of flashback way, because like
right.
anything you've seen her with like other people have, like you've seen the whole thing. You've seen her whole time with Link. You've seen her whole time for the most part with Xavier. I guess there is like a 2-week gap while they're recovering, but I don't know what could have happened. Yeah, what they would show in that kind of 2-week gap to kind of thrust her motivation or anything like that. So I am sad that we probably won't see Annie like full theory for like season 3 or onward. Like if they do a big time jump and like
you saying onward, but we might be only getting this last.
right. I mean, like if we're thinking like super time jump, like super like the ending of season 3 or the finale of the show, it's like Annie's child grows up to be Shailene Woodley. Like that's the only way I could see. Like you know how they like to like bring back.
That's kind of good. That's kind of good though.
Maybe that could be the case. If you've seen How to Get Away with Murder, they killed off Wes. They brought back the actor as his son in the future. So like I'm just thinking things like that. Like that's an easy way to bring back Annie. Be like, this is how we bring back our old cast members. So maybe I'm just sad that we probably won't see Shailene Woodley anymore. Unless the sci-fi supernatural stuff really take over.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Got a little time travel there?
I don't know. Time travel? I don't know. There's a lot of theories.
He's going to go to the world between worlds and pull Shailene Woodley out right before they have sex and she gets pregnant. He's going to pull her out.
Yo.
I mean, he should have been pulling out before that.
Right?
She wouldn't be in this predicament.
No.
Hold on. TJ, why did you just make me feel like what's her name?
Annie?
Ahsoka? No, the actress.
Shailene Woodley?
Shailene Woodley. Why did I just feel like she would have been a great Padme, like in them like 2000 like 10-ish era, like when she was making the Divergence? Padme vibes.
I don't know if she's got enough like power to her, like Padme has that like I'm gonna get on a microphone and everyone's gonna listen to me. I don't know if I see that from Shailene Woodley.
But have we seen her? I mean, she had that speech in Divergent, you know.
If you remember anything from that movie, you are lying to me. Other than the dude's name is Four, I remember that.
Do you remember the movie? Do you guys remember the movie I Am Number 4?
Bro,
I remember. I have heard of it. I don't remember what it is.
You remember that, Ryan? Yo, all right.
I remember that movie so well. Like,
I don't know why that just came to
man.
me.
Alex Pettyfer was on a different spectrum that time. Like, his career could have taken off, but I don't know what he's doing now.
TJ, let us know what we got coming up with Agents of Fandom. Where can the people find us? All of those good things.
At Agents Fandom on TikTok and Twitter. Make Agents of Fandom everywhere else. agentsfandom.com for our written reviews. Follow us on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us 5-star rating on said podcast. And most importantly of all, hit the like button if you're watching us on YouTube. Help us grow this community, battle that YouTube algorithm. We are going to have shows continuously every Tuesday for Paradise. We're going to be talking Daredevil, Born Again, Project Hail Mary, and Invincible all later this month. Lots of really awesome stuff coming. And later this week, you're going to get my interview with Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio up on our podcast feed and YouTube page. So stay tuned.
Heck yeah, man. We got so much stuff. What a time to be an Agents of Fandom fan. Ryan, what do you got going on? Where the people can find you at?
Yeah, I am Ryan_reflects on Twitter, Threads, and I forgot to shout out Letterboxd last week, but you can also find me there. What I got cooking at Collider.
You can find me on Letterboxd too, where you'll just find me continuously logging Frozen, Frozen 2, Moana, and Encanto.
You gotta find. Well, I gotta get you on Letterboxd. I don't have you on Letterboxd yet. I don't think.
Banger films though. Banger films. On Collider, right now I'm pretty proud of this one. I have an article. I have a feature talking about how Daredevil Born Again season 2 is going to give Karen Page the recognition she deserves. I think a lot of people don't give her enough credit for what she's done in the 3 seasons of the original show. We didn't get much of her in season 1 because of the reshuffling and everything, but Karen Page is going to really step up in season 2, and I kind of talk all about it from Dark Scarpan's comments about it. So check that out on Collider. Coming up, I'm going to be recapping One Piece season 1. And because we're a week away from season 2, which I'm super, super excited for.
Yeah.
Cannot wait to see. I'm only a fan of the live action. I haven't gone into the manga or anime yet. Okay. But because of what the first season did for me, I'm just like, wow, this is how you introduce people to the world that's already already existed, and lean into it fully without trying to be grounded, not trying to be modern with it. It's like they are leaning into the anime manga material and going for it. So very excited for season 2. It looks fun. But
yeah, man. I'm actually really excited for season 2. I've seen some of the anime, not all of it, but I'm really, really excited for it. So I'm with you. I can't wait to read that. You guys know where to find me here at Agents of Fandom. Every Tuesday, I will be here with Paradise, like TJ said. But no, you can also check me out at Jam Session. Just replace the E with an X in session. I am on all socials. Heck, I'm actually about to go live on Twitch right now and play Pokemon Legends Z through A. You can check my podcast, Journey Across Media, on YouTube exclusively. You'll see the pigeon with the hat. That's me. Other than that, we'll be back next week. We appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Laters.